Hey guys, it's God Bars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 192nd episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So in terms of rappers that debuted in the late 2000s or early 2010s, who are still making game-changing music to this day, there aren't many artists who've held their ground and maintained a respectable position amongst their peers to the degree these next two picks of mine have. They're actually somewhat of a hip hop duo in the vein of Redman and Method Man. Though, unlike those legends, these two artists haven't exactly done that much music together, but fortunately, there's still a good amount of time. You can probably deduce who the second guy that I'm referencing is, since I'm talking about Tyler the Creator. And no, it isn't Earl Sweatshirt, but if not, you'll definitely be able to after I give you the hint that this partner in crime actually pops up for a guest appearance on this album. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself because first I kind of need to give some background on Tyler and how him, Earl Sweatshirt, and really the rest of the Odd Future crew played a giant role in shaping my friends and my sensibilities in hip hop. These guys kind of fall in the same mental grouping for me that the likes of Kendrick Lamar and Joey Badass do, where they hold a special place in my heart and probably always will, if not solely for nostalgia purposes. They may not be the first names that come to mind when I'm naming off current MCs I have my eyes on, but that's mainly due to me going through such dense and lengthy phases for these artists. Tyler's an interesting case because I definitely don't agree with every take he puts out there. For example, when he railed against fans who say their favorite rappers are people who were popular before that fan may have been born. I get that you're obviously going to have more of a personal attachment to something that was released during your youth, but the thing is, I've seen Tyler gush over like Stevie Wonder songs that came out a good 30 or 40 years before he was born. So to me, it's kind of a moot point. And what kind of annoys me about it is that some uneducated kid may use that as an excuse for never doing their homework and going back. As if you can't enjoy and appreciate both current artists and the old school ones that kind of birthed the genre. I also find it a bit weird when Tyler complains about people holding the content in Bastard or Goblin against him, because he kind of acts like it's this horrible curse that he got famous at such a young age. The thing is, he wasn't 9 years old. I think that there's many rappers who blew up at the same age he did, if not younger. And while I'll give it to him that people evolve and grow, so it's totally understandable that he may not stand by that early work, nor want to perform those songs. But on the other hand, you really can't act like those vulgar, childish things aren't exactly what made you famous. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I think it's kind of undeniable that the controversy around Odd Future is what gave the members the opportunity to branch out in the first place. But now that I'm through my complaints, I can get to all the things I love that Tyler the Creator has to offer, which is just about everything else about him. I've discussed in passing how some of the early work hasn't aged that well content wise, but when you look at it through the lens of a character or just exaggerated fiction, it really isn't too different from the kind of work you would hear back in the day from someone like Eminem, 3 6 Mafia, or even Ghetto Boys. What does stand the test of time, however, is the production and promise that Tyler was showing from day one through his unique beat-making style and his knack for crafting entire concepts to theme an album around. I think that Wolf is where he really started executing these conceptual ideas in a interesting and pretty idiosyncratic way, but I would definitely have to agree with the somewhat common consensus that Igor is the peak of quality in Tyler's ever-growing discography. You may be wondering why I didn't opt to discuss that modern classic here if it's my favorite, and it's mainly because it isn't really a traditional rap album, which Tyler would tell you himself. I actually had someone on TikTok say that Flower Boy was more of a pop album than rap album when I first posted it, but I don't really agree with that. In my opinion, Flower Boy very well may be the best true blue hip hop album Tyler's ever put together. as it represents his slow but gradual shift away from more disturbing and unsettling sounds and subject matter and leaning more into the summery, warm, and colorful themes he'd been planting those seeds of over the years. However, Flower Boy, or Scumfuck Flower Boy as it was originally titled, is a project I feel kind of gets almost retroactively swept under the rug, because I think a lot of people agreed that it held the title as Tyler's best, highest quality album, and then Igor came out and kind of usurped that title. Flower Boy already had a pretty unique concept, and Tyler had already set himself apart as a California rapper who had more of an affinity for camping and other traditional suburban outdoor activities instead of hanging out on the corner or what have you. But with Flower Boy, he displayed an insane talent for assembling dense and thematic compositions with much more knowledge in music theory than your average rapper. Songs like Garden Shed wind and build masterfully, and he tends to do that even on the select moments that get a little more grimy and noisy. However, despite all those positives that show up sonically, what really blew me away when this album first came out and still impresses me to this day is how Tyler consistently delivers some of the best writing and rapping we've been yet to witness in his career. There's many slick lines and witty moments worth delving into on this thing, but the one set of bars I find absolutely necessary to share are the ones that open this project up. As personally, I still think this intro track has the best set of bars Tyler's ever penned. You could tell he was really in that zone when writing this, as his wordplay and imagery are vivid and heavy, and the way he ties all these subjects together thematically is just top notch. This stellar verse brings us in with, "How many cars can I buy till I run out of drive? How much drive can I have until I run out of road? How much road can they pave until I run out of land? How much land can it be until I run in the ocean? People go with the motions and all the plans. See, I was never into the beaches and all the sands. See, I was in the woods with flowers, rainbows, and posies falling out of my pocket, but y'all want to know if I swam to cool down. How much cooler can I get until I run out of fans? How many fans can I have until they turn on the AC? If the AC blow up, well then I'm TNT, I'm gone." Honestly, his second verse is just as dope, but it's getting to that point where I need to kind of start naming the featured artists and producers. But the latter won't take too long considering all the production here is done by Tyler himself, which to my knowledge is pretty much always the case for his work. However, for guest appearances, we're given a pretty good number of talented names, including Rex Orange County, Frank Ocean, Kali Uchis, Jaden Smith, Estelle, Anna of the North, Steve Lacy, Lil Wayne, and ASAP Rocky. For my top 3 favorite songs overall on this thing, I would have to boil them down to Forward, See You Again, and Garden Shed. When it comes to the honorable mentions that didn't quite make that final cut, I want to shout out songs like Where This Flower Blooms, Who Dat Boy, Pothole, 911 slash Mr. Lonely, Droppin' Seeds, November, and I Ain't Got Time. Thank you for watching my 192nd video. Next up, we have that aforementioned partner in crime I was referencing towards the beginning of this video. So keep an eye out for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite songs off this amazing listen are. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.
Who would do such a thing? Look, I stand in the flame of a feeling we call pain. Father's Day mug, little hand shaped in clay. Carrier planes flew overhead in pockets.